don't you start?
I'm Bob McVeigh. I was a journalist for 30 years and a publisher for 20. I started 3 newspapers, ran very aggressive journalist-type newspapers all those years. 10 years ago, I sold everything and went to work for politicians. It's quite an experience, I'll tell you. I've sold advertising, and I've also placed advertising, and I've talked, to a lot of offices about it. So I think I have a few things that might be able to help you.
I'm Allison Albrecht, and I'm the media director with Stage Stores. We're headquartered here in Houston, Texas, and we operate Bells and Palais Royal in the market, which is an apparel retailer specializing in rural America. I manage all media outside of direct mail at Stage, and prior to being here at Stage, I was a print buyer for both CVS Pharmacy and also Kohl's Department Stores.
Hi, I'm Jamie Gilpatrick, and I'm with Popeyes Louisiana Kitchens. I work on the corporate side. We handle all of the print inside, in-house now. And prior to being with Popeyes, I've been with them for about a year now. I have been in the Houston market since '96, placing print either for the motion picture companies or for handling Popeyes print campaign, and also doing some recruitment advertising.
Hi everybody, I'm Mike Cox. I'm probably the least advertising oriented person here in the on the panel today. I too am an old newspaper guy. I spent 20 years working for daily newspapers. Then I went to the Texas Department of Public Safety as their chief of media relations for 15 years. And then I worked for the Texas Press Association for 2.5 years, and then worked for TxDOT. And then I retired from the state. And then about 2.5 years ago, I retired from retirement. I got a nice offer from Parks and Wildlife to come back, and since I like to hunt and fish, I thought that'd be a good deal. So I'm now a spokesman for Texas Parks and Wildlife Department.
Each of you, if you could, talk about how you either evaluate the media that you're going to purchase, what databases may you use, what do you like to see, what do you traditionally buy, or how do you have contact with them in a news format. So let's just go ahead and start down the line with that, and then we'll start with the regular questions.
Basically what we do is media relations. We are more a place to come if you have questions about something to do with parks or wildlife.
In a lot of our markets, Paid is the weekly paper that comes out on Thursday. Because we operate in really a rural environment with a once-a-week-like newspaper, our events typically are Wednesday through Saturday, Wednesday through Sunday, or just Friday and Saturday. Each store in our, because we do operate in the Houston market here, in Austin, San Antonio, but for example, Laredo or Amarillo are our top 10 markets as a company, we tier them up at 1 through 6 in a group marketing level, so that a group 1 would be, for example, in Houston, they would receive a little bit of ROP at a full page, and then you would tier it down as you got into smaller
Politicians per se don't advertise, candidates advertise. And the only thing candidates care about is registered voters who actually vote. I assume you all know this, but every candidate has a list of everybody who voted in the last primary for the last 10 years, and in the November general election for the last 10 years. They know who votes, who doesn't vote, and after doing 2 or 3 phone bank surveys, they know who's voting for the other guy. So to sell them advertising, the thing you have to know is how many of your readers are voters.
And also, we also have some very active franchisees who know their markets, and they come to us and they specifically say, I want to pick this zip, this zip, this zip. I want to target the people who live in these neighborhoods for, various reasons. But
we actually, when you pay with any form of plastic or a check, we can take off the mag strip. We take your information, if you will. Even just your zip code is a great indicator of where you live. So then we can look at the density and where they're coming from and the volume of sales at that zip code level. And then we do some mapping of the zip centroid and things like that. But in general, that is where the volume of sales, that's how we get it.
Should we get to know the local store manager? Do you encourage that?
I definitely encourage that, especially when it comes specifically for your local newspapers, your local magazines, your local publications, we have a very strong, what we call LSM program for them. It's local sales management. You're going to get some franchisees who just aren't interested into it, but you're going to get a lot of our franchisees that are interested. They're interested in supporting a local high school. They're interested in supporting a local community service program, and they will run print ads. And those type of things don't even come through me. That comes from them straight out.
That the manager has his discretionary income to sponsor the Little League or to do a school supply drive. But we actually make our newspaper reps work hard whenever we run an ROP, whether it's for a co-op like a gift with purchase for Clinique or Estee Lauder, and we send you all the ROP. You actually physically have to take it to the store manager. You actually have to snipe the ad and put the address of the local Bells or your local Palais Royal at the bottom of the ad. And one, that builds a great relationship between the rep and the store manager. But we're very open to that dialogue between the store manager and the newspaper. We still make the decisions at corporate because one, we have that same vantage point across all our stores. But the other thing we find in our markets, because it's such a small community, typically the store manager is related to the radio station who goes to church with the newspaper rep. So it's unavoidable, and so we foster that versus discourage it.
They were talking about digital. I know one thing that several of the members I work with are looking for right now is if they run a digital ad in your paper, can they link that to their Facebook page? So when people click on it, they go to the Facebook page, they get the information on that person, they can decide based on that if they're a registered voter or
It's
not.
really kind of interesting. The last session of the legislature passed a bill, I think it's House Bill 1300. I'm not directly involved in it, but Parks and Wildlife is becoming the first state agency in the nation, so far as we can tell, to be seeking corporate sponsors. I mean, as an old newspaper guy, to me, it's incredible to see. But I was just in a meeting 2 days ago where we're sitting around saying, okay, we're going to offer this for a $100,000 corporate sponsor. We're going to offer this for a $250,000 corporate sponsor. We're going to offer this for a $500,000 corporate sponsor. And so what this legislation enabled, sooner or later, you're going to hear that Frost Bank is the official bank of Texas Parks and Wildlife. A very interesting example of how advertising in the media and government is changing. We may even get to the point of some of us don't want to see that, but where we'll have Coca-Cola Big Bend State Ranch.
Folks, these four deserve a round of applause. Today. We know a Friday afternoon's not always easy especially one so beautiful. And thank you for your great questions. We are wrapped, and I've been smelling popcorn for a half an hour.